because it also deals with what people have been talking about over the past week, especially with the comments of Mr. Trump calling us, and I don't want to use the word, but I will use it, shitholes. That's what he's called the African continent. And he's brought about conversations where people are saying, well, because of where we are, why won't they call us that? To answer those questions and to give the way forward, I have with me Mr. Michael up here. Michael, good morning.
Good morning.
And Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you too, my brother.
Okay. So, first of all, what is the problem? Why is it that on almost every indicator that you can look at with respect to development, whether it's access to education or health or development, Africa is lagging behind? What is wrong?
Well, Kafi, thanks for having me, and I'm so grateful for being in your studios here. Very big platform. I'm so grateful for you. I'm grateful for having me here. Kafi, I don't have the answers. All I'm trying to do is put the issues forward so that to become topics for discussion. I don't have the answers, but observations, we are lagging behind, and I believe that there are certain things that probably keeps them behind, and they are more to do with our culture, our way of thinking, our way of doing things. So I bring them up in the book so that it become topics for discussion. So I don't have the answers, Kafi, seriously. I have some issues, I'm bringing them up for discussion.
Let's take them one by one.
Okay.
What is so wrong with our culture that is preventing us from becoming the things that we see on television? We see Singapore, we see Japan, we see Botswana. Maybe that's probably one little
Rwanda
example, which is Rwanda. What is keeping us here in Ghana? Let's keep it to Ghana. What is keeping us from really developing?
Well, Kafi, my book is not about Ghana. It's about Africa and then the black race in general. What I try to write in the book is that culture, every race has their own culture. Culture changes with time. Time keeps moving. As the earth moves around the sun, changes occur daily, almost hourly. So if your culture is very static, if you don't change things rapid enough, you get overtaken by people. I mean, the so-called developed people, not too long ago, maybe a couple of centuries ago, they were barbaric. Their form of killing dissidents. In Ghana, we just shot them at Teshi. Dissidents were shot at Teshi. One bullet, they were dead. But just a couple of centuries ago, they killed their dissidents or their traitors by quartering them, disemboweling them. Not too long ago, the so-called these developed people. So if you don't move on, you get left behind. They are moved on, they are ahead. So our culture, just like every culture, every race, is a way of thinking. Our thoughts, our processes, that's what leads us to the way we do things. So if you don't keep changing, then we get left behind.
Why can't we change?
Well, that is where I don't have the answers. So I'm putting it out there so that we'll discuss it. But it looks like generally, Kafi, we seem to have a very static culture compared to the other races.
Give us an example of something that is holding us back in Africa and preventing us from moving forward.
Kafi, in this day and age, people are still using the short hole. Have you seen the short hole? The short hole in this day and age. When population was only 400,000, the whole Ghana population was about 400,000. The whole, fine, it was good. You could plant yam and cassava and all that. Now we are 28, 30 million. People are still using the whole. Kafi, I just can't get it. Because we don't like changing. We seem to be stuck with our old ways of doing things. Why are you using the whole? The whole. People are still using so many outdated things in this modern world.
Is it that we are too poor to get machines? We are too poor
I don't think so.
to get other technology?
Kafi, I don't think so. We have it. We have brains. There are a lot of Ghanaians, Africans, blacks all over Europe and America doing inventions all over. But for some reason, it's like when we get back to Africa, the dominant force here is the culture. The culture that says that there are some gods in some rivers over there. There are some forces in some Wawa Odum tree over there, it's not easy to change.
We've had examples. Even recently, there was an example of a river, I think the Ofin, where menstruating girls were not allowed to cross. God made a declaration.
Yes.
I know in the Western region, some oil projects have had to be stalled because the God said that if you dig this area, you're going to have problems.
Kafi, you're right. I mean, and they had it. These so-called developed people had the same thing. I mean, the word, the little God, the God with the little G, it came from them. That means they had gods. Just like we have our Kung Fu, our Busum, our Konedi and all that. They had it, but they moved on. So at what point will we move on? Once we stay like that, we will get static and we'll get underdeveloped.
You made a point about the fact that with the exception of President Rawlings, all our other presidents have had the benefit of Western education. They've lived abroad, gone to school there, observed what people have done there. And why is it that we haven't brought some of the things here to change our country 60 years into independence?
Kafi, I want to believe that all of them came with good intentions to make our country, our nation, our Africa better. But if you don't improve the basics, there's no way things will get right. You cannot start by educating the universities when basic secondary is not right. So I believe that all that I've written about, the important or the most important need to do is to get it to the core. A generation that is unblemished, a generation that hasn't formed their core habits yet. But you and me, Kafi, I mean, if you tell me that Kafi is bad to wear a bracelet because it's something that's foreign, for example, it will not work. But tell it to a 10-year-old boy, you wear a bracelet, it gets you to some certain level of adulthood life, and it can get you to problem in future. So don't wear a bracelet. For example, just example, or let's say a boy sees people smoking around him. You know, if you smoke, your lungs will get, you get into problem. Your lungs, you can get lung cancer, all that. Or a boy sees people drinking around him. Parents, if you drink, your liver will get spoiled along the line. 10-year-old boy, girl can get it, but not you and me, Kafi. Seriously.
Is there something wrong? Is there any reason why Africans are not risk takers? Because you know that to make big progress, you have to take big risks. And I always watch these documentaries on National Geographic where people are doing crazy things, bungee jumping, and I rarely see black people jumping from high heights, and they say, hey, the spirits will come after you. Why is it that we are not risk takers? And is that a reason why we are lagging behind?
Well, it's one of the main reasons. We don't take risk. We don't take risk. We don't like taking risk. In fact, risk taking is something that many people all over the world don't like taking, because people are comfortable with being what they are, living what they are comfortable with, what they know. But for some reason, we in Africa, in the black world, are so risk averse. We are afraid of risk. I don't know how it started, but I want to believe that it all had something to do with our respective climatic conditions. Kafi, we are in a tropical region. You don't have to climb mountains to get a fish, or cross rivers to get some akrantie. Okay, so we were probably relaxed. No need to take any risk. Just plant some corn behind your wall, or cross the road. You get some snails to pick up. Others had to, cross territories to get food to eat. So maybe those in the temperate climatic conditions had to do extra to even feed themselves. I don't know. There's no scientific lesson to that, but I believe that certainly they had to do more to eat and live and survive, whilst we had to just relax and you get snails and basic food around you anytime.
But then how do we change that? Because our temperature hasn't changed. We're still a tropical country. Do we have to create artificial conditions of lack and hardship so that we can fight against them to become better?
Oh, I wouldn't advocate for that. I would rather advocate for a situation where we let our kids, those coming up, know that look, the world out there is so competitive. It doesn't care. If you are left behind, you are left behind. It doesn't care. It keeps on going, rotating. Every day new things are coming. So I want to advocate that let's give it to the generation coming after us, so that we put it in their minds, conscientize them across the whole of the black world. If it's Ghana, let's take Tumu, Wale Wale, Axim, Kumasi, Mampong, Hohoi, Keta. Let's put it in them, so that they will grow up, so that the next 30 years we have a whole generation who are 30 years, who are fathers and mothers, who have a whole different mindset to be able to compete better in the world.
You're watching Hard Talk. We're asking the question, why does Africa or the black race lag behind? My guest is Michael Appiah. He's the author of The Black Race Rising. Your messages are coming in. Charles and Nabin Hoko says, Brother Kaf, we are the cause of our own problems. Selfishness and backbiting, hatred and unnecessary jealousy has become the order of the day. Does this explain why we are lagging behind, Michael?
It's one of the reasons. I don't know how it started. I don't know how we alone we are selfish, we are greedy, and we leave ourselves behind.
But selfishness and greed is not the preserve of black people alone. White people are selfish and greedy too.
Because elsewhere they have systems to check that. You cannot be greedy and go away freely. You cannot be selfish and have your own way. They have systems to check that if you want to be greedy and steal the whole nation's money, the whole district's money, the system will get up with you and then you'll be punished.
Another message here. This is from Don Bruce from Bodi Sefi. Sekaf, Africa lies behind because people who are capable are not allowed to get the chance to do what they have to do, and Africans are not ready to change their behavior. We've set up machinery for our forms of government, but these machineries are not working. And our people, policymakers, learn all the theories from best universities in the world, from countries which have succeeded. So where is the problem?
Kavi, you don't tell adults to change unless you punish them. Adults, the only way to let adults change is to punish them. I've been following issues in the public sector, and it's so sad. It's like, for example, let me give one example. I don't want to, I'm apolitical, seriously, but we have a system where every month, the first Saturday, shops should close, banks should close, everybody should close, and then we clean.
Is it a good system?
It's a very bad system.
Why? Why?
Why should all of us close shop and clean up when you have a Zoom Lions and the rest? Tax them, give the money to the Zoom Lions and the rest to clean up.
So what you're saying is all the money that has been put around this campaign should rather be used to pay the refugee people who do this for a living,
pay
to clean the place.
To clean the place. Tax those who live there. Tax them. Kaf, let me tell you something. I started writing about this book when one day in 1999, 2000, I was going to drop my kid at school, Michael Jr., at a richer school. And then around ANC Mall, there was this woman that the place was then being built up. I saw this woman carrying rubbish from her uncompleted house just behind the filling station at ANC Mall, crossing to dump the refuse across the road. And I was passionate. I sort of, madam, what are you doing? You dropping your rubbish to this place? I said, bruh, where should I take it? That was a wake-up call. Where should he take it? Her bedroom, her dining hall, or her kitchen? So once you let people live in uncompleted buildings, you make sure you provide them bins and charge them and let the Zoom Lions pick it up. Otherwise, don't let people live in places like that.
Keep the messages coming in 0246 020 580. Our continent believes in education but doesn't value it. Some of our cultures are too bad. How can you give a school-going girl out for marriage? You waste a talent and you still want us to progress as a nation. What do you make of that comment?
It's a very true comment. So many of our cultures and our ways of living are outdated. So many are so outdated. We need to make sure that we progress. In fact, if you change so fast, you lose your identity. If you don't change too, you are left behind. So that balance is very critical. That's why we need our leaders to come and make sure that the balance is very, very fine between leaving the ones that are keeping us back and they're not going too fast to other cultures to lose our identity. There are a lot of people who have lost their identity as a result of too much change.
What do you think about our attitude to reading and writing? Is that also holding us back?
Oh, too much. In fact, one of the biggest setback to the black race is the fact that we didn't write. We had alternative medicines. We had alternative answers to virtually everything.
I'm thinking right now of Nana Drobo, who died with his knowledge.
Of course.
The herbalist who's claimed he found the cure for AIDS.
Yes. There were other stories about how he died and all that. He went to Japan and all that. But what I'm saying is that if he had written, people would have continued years on. Da Vinci,
the inventor,
in 16th century, he experimented with the thought of a flying object. It took 400 years before the Wright brothers invented the first aeroplane in 1903, because it was written. So whatever he did, people looked at it and progressed with it, and eventually they got solutions. So the writing culture, and even now, after years, decades of education, we still don't write. How many people keep their memoirs? How many of our ministers have written their books? How many of our presidents? President Kufuor, I think he has written something. I don't know President Rawlings, I don't know President Mahama, I don't know President Mills. How many of our leaders, our ministers have written?
President Mahama wrote First Coup d'etat. That's
okay, yeah. But generally, not only our presidents, but our ministers, our civil servants, they all need to write their experiences, things they couldn't say to us on television, to you, on paper. Then we all can read and learn from them.
What about our attitude to money? How do we treat money? Is that a factor that we should look at seriously?
Is so bad. It's so bad. It looks like our parents teach us a lot of things: how to respect elders, how to behave in public, but how to make money, keep money, grow money, and maintain money, we don't know it. We simply don't know it. Maybe a few exceptions, the Kwaus, and then Igbos and the Yorubas, a few exceptions. But we simply do not know money. We don't know money. We don't know money. And the money rules the world. Fine. The Christians and we'll talk about, it's a worldly world. But whilst we are still in the worldly world, money rules. We need to know money.
How do we know money?
Yes, we need to learn money and teach money to our kids. Yes. I mean, you are in this world. In Ghana, for example, anytime you give a kid money, you are going to spoil the kid. You don't give kids money. It's general. Virtually all the tribes in Ghana, if you give kids money, you spoil them. But yet, this kid is going to grow from 18, 20. For 50 years, this kid is going to grow to be a man looking for this money. Now, how do you look for something you don't know? How do you look for something you don't know? Now, if you perchance meet that thing, how do you even know that this is the thing I'm looking for? You wouldn't know. We don't teach money. We don't teach trade. We don't teach growing money. And don't teach maintaining money.
So these are the keys that we need to really come to grips with if we want to progress Africa.
Yes. We need to teach money because the world out there is about money. America now respecting China. Not because China suddenly became a darling boy, but China has become big money-wise. The economy is now very, very big, controlling a lot of reserves in the world. America respects China. I mean, when this, what's his name? DT.
Trump.
DT. When he was mentioning his SH
yes.
countries.
Shithole countries.
He didn't mention Singapore.
No.
He didn't mention Malaysia. He didn't mention South Korea. These were countries, 1957.
They were like us.
Ghana was ahead of them, or like us. Why? Because we didn't grow our money well.
On the DT trip, and this is my final question, is he justified in calling African countries shitholes?
Well, the guy, what he said was really very, very unfortunate, very, very bad, because least of all, as a president, shouldn't speak like that. He really insulted us. But I think it's a wake-up call. Wake-up call for us to, in Africa, and the so-called SH countries, we need to sit up, take it as a wake-up call to be able to do something for ourselves. Why is it that Malaysia wasn't mentioned? Singapore wasn't mentioned, but it looks like Africa was mentioned. It means we have done a lot of things wrongly and we need to come up, we need to rise up, so that nobody can say things like that about us.
And hopefully it will happen, if not in our lifetimes, then in the lifetimes of our children.
Exactly, our children.
Thank you so much. Michael Appiah is the author of The Black Race Rising. It's a fresh book that will blow your mind, and we've been talking about why Africa is lagging behind, and most especially what we need to do to get ahead. Thank you very much for watching. Michael, it's a real pleasure, and all the best with the book.
It's our pleasure to you.
All right, okay, you're watching GH Today. Stay with us. There's a lot more ahead. We're talking money as well, so stay with. But we're ending with Bob Marley, who says we need to work, and this is the song that should inspire you. Bob Marley and the Wailers, Work.